is the 2020 real estate crash coming in April. Okay, so there's a lot of people that are saying that the real estate market is going to crash in 2020 in April. Okay, I know the way out. This isn't the time to panic right now. You just gotta follow me.
All right, guys, this is going to help each and every one of you watching. It is easily the most important video that I've ever published here on this channel, which is saying a lot. We have over 400 videos. In our recent video where I was discussing the real estate market and exactly why I think the market is totally doomed and poised for a decline, many people left comments disagreeing with me on that, which I completely expected, of course. And admittedly, it's only my opinion. And so, of course, the prediction is totally contingent on many different variables. For instance, much of our economic future right now will be based on how long the virus continues to spread without a cure, right? That's obvious. Now, today, what I want to do is prove to you that my plan works. You're going to want to make sure you stick around for this one if you want to remain as safe as possible, no matter what happens. The first half of the video is going to be for every single person, okay? The second half of this video will be only for people who consider themselves to be more advanced, because I've been really anxious to get into the weeds on this subject and really truly start showing you guys the mathematical theory behind it. Part 1. The approach that I've curated now for over 10 years is called JIC, and it's quite simple. It's an acronym for just in case. Perhaps this stems from having a father that's also an Eagle Scout. I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely the reason why I am far safer than most people overall, and the single biggest reason why I will make a ton of money, whether the market recovers quickly or falls into another deep recession. JIC is a simple process of asking what if. Let's review a few examples together. Like, what if the coronavirus isn't cured in a month or in 2 or 3 months? What's the plan then? Or what if you lose your job? What's your plan? What if your spouse loses his or her job? What if your child gets sick? Or your spouse passes away? God forbid either of those two things happen. What if you found a property for 50% off? Could you buy it right now? What if you had an issue with your car? Could you fix it? What if the pandemic ends and life returns to normal? Could you afford the lifestyle that you want? What if a business opportunity shows up at your door and would double your income immediately? Could you buy into it? What if you didn't have enough money to make a payment or your rent? Would you have a resource of money that you could borrow? What if your air conditioning went out this summer? Could you replace it? What if your company went out of business? Would you be okay? What if your pet needed expensive vet services? What if this recent stimulus doesn't work? What if your bank won't defer your payments? What if someone you know dies? Which sounds morbid until you're reminded that everybody you know is going to die before you if you live long enough. Would you be financially able to allow yourself the time to grieve? What if inventory doesn't stay low and people start short selling and foreclosing properties again, causing your property values to fall way below your current loan balances like they did 10 years ago? Would you even still want your house? What if they run out of toilet paper again? What if your credit lines close? Do you have a backup plan? What if your stock portfolio keeps falling or your 401k evaporates? What if there is a run on all of the grocery stores again and suddenly there isn't enough food? How would you survive? You guys get the idea, right? We can just keep going and going, but the purpose of these questions is not to focus on the doom and gloom, and it certainly isn't intended to upset every real estate professional who watched my last video and refuses to see the writing on the wall because of inventories. I mean, come on. Most of my closest friends are real estate professionals, guys. So believe me, I don't want to see them or anybody hurting any more than they do. I want the best for everybody. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed constantly, guys, that we're going to bounce back and my community will go back to their normal lives. Here's the problem. The so-called normal life that most people have gotten used to isn't even real. It's fabricated for us by the very top and the banks. It's built on debt, and not the kind of debt Robert Kiyosaki would call good. It's the kind of debt that lets people buy toys that they shouldn't buy before they can afford them. Now, I coach you guys for free every day, and I see it on your cash flow cruncher spreadsheets over and over and over. Don't worry, I believe in getting everything you want in life, even the toys. I have the toys too, but if you don't time things correctly or prepare for what ifs, you are far more exposed to the risks than you should be. And that is why we operate from this JIC approach. For the same reason that car manufacturers will put seatbelts and airbags into every car, not because we hope for accidents, it's to minimize the impact when they happen. So to all of you guys who disagreed with my recent video, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna put a card right up here now so that you can pause this video right now and go watch that one first before you see the rest of this training. But I ask you this, if you do disagree with my opinions in that video, what exactly is the harm in prepping for a major crash? If the market doesn't crash, does it somehow adversely affect you to build your credit to a 760 and up, to look as good to the banks as possible? Does it negatively affect you to build your cash flow by spending responsibly or paying off your debts and building skills as well as assets that increase your income streams? Does it negatively affect you to apply for specialty lines of credit that give you the ability to both afford opportunities and emergencies? Especially tools that cost very little and in some cases nothing at all. If things go back to normal quickly and my predictions that the market is going to get destroyed end up being wrong, does the money that I got access to somehow not still serve me positively? I mean, if I have another $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, could I not just simply put it to work then as well? I truly don't understand the argument against what we're teaching here. I live my life as a prepper because it doesn't hurt me to prepare. Just as I do with my finances, I prepare in other ways also. I mean, check it out. I have a whole box of goodies, JIC. That's right, everything from gas masks to 6 months of emergency food stored that stays good for 25 years. I have extra gasoline, batteries, water filters, guns, bullets, fuel, siphons, metal cutters, and more. Not only does preparing ensure that Kellyanne and I are safe, but we can also then focus on helping other people. For example, our small little community ran completely out of toilet paper like many other towns did. And because I'm prepared with my own oxygen masks, so to speak, no pun intended here, but I'm able to then help my neighbor too, just like on the airplane. That's right, guys. I was tracking, and the moment I saw Amazon had toilet paper for sale again, I immediately bought 2 extra boxes for my neighbors in town, and then I posted on our Facebook page, our community Facebook page, that we would be happy to swing by and leave whatever they might need on their doorstep. Prepping not only makes your family as safe as possible, but it allows you to help other people around you in times of need too. Why do you think I'm able to make these videos? I mean, YouTube has only earned me about $10,000 in AdSense total. We just didn't run ads. So I assure you, it's not because we are getting rich from YouTube. Statistically, at least 95% of the people who watch these videos and get helpful information from me, they're not good candidates for what I actually sell, which is one-on-one coaching. That's right, guys. About 5%, optimistically, of you watching right now are actually a good fit to work with me, because staying committed to your money happens to be very, very hard. This is why we strictly qualify every single person who joins. Think about it. How many years in a row now have you actively maintained a budget every single month? Very few people can honestly say even 1 year consistently. And if you're not consistent and you're not dedicated to your money, my services to help you build real wealth are pointless, and they just simply won't work. So most people are not a good fit for what I sell. We know it, yet we keep making videos week after week, year after year. simply because we're safe and we can therefore focus tremendous time and money and energy to continue helping more and more people create safety too. This is a good time to stop for a moment and mention, if you do happen to think that you are a good fit and you're in a place right now where you're sick of living in the same financial place that you've been, and you're confident that your income is going to continue, and you recognize the value of having successful people around you to guide you through the difficult decisions that are involved with creating actual wealth, including how to adjust during weird times like these, well, go ahead and visit freecoachingcalendar.com. You can claim a free coaching session, or you can even sign up to start on your journey to wealth by enrolling in our Quick Start membership. It's $400 a month normally, but we discount it to under $300 for our YouTube and referral Quick Starters. And not only is it the best price that you're going to get, but you'll also jump to the front of the line. Please do note that we work with our members for an extended period. So you should only consider enrolling if you are prepared to take your money seriously on an ongoing basis. Now, if you're currently struggling financially and you are barely cash flowing, we're proud to announce that we have created a new membership for you. It's called our Fast Track program. It's a 5-week workshop where you're going to be supercharging your finances and you're going to be able to build a realistic plan to succeed moving forward. Now, I'm not going to be launching that until May 1st, and we'll have limited availability. So enroll today if you're struggling right now, and we are certainly here to help you through that process. If you are currently negatively cash flowing, where you're spending more every month than what you have coming in, please use the content that we put out here for you for free and do not buy anything. You need to conserve every single penny for now until you can get into a positive cash flow environment. Now, for those of you guys who are on the front line of COVID, meaning you're in healthcare, or you're in the military, or you're working at a grocery store or gas station, maybe you're an Uber driver, or you're in waste management or janitorial services, postal and mail carriers, warehouse workers, or any other essential worker, go ahead and visit frontlinefasttrack.com and we will give you the very same 5-week Fast Track membership absolutely free of charge in order to thank you guys for everything that you are doing for us. This will be a wonderful community where we can all help each other just like you're doing for us. Now, everybody drop a like right now to show how much we love these people. Come on, guys. Everyone. If you appreciate these folks as much as we do, hit that thumbs up, show them the love. Also, let them all know in the comments section, guys, below. I want you to appreciate their hard work and willingness to put their lives on the line. You truly are a miracle for us. I'm curious, how many of you guys know people who are working the front lines and risking their lives? I know a bunch. So be sure to drop a comment, let us know. Be sure to share this video so that we can help them for free as well, the people that you love. Now, the key takeaway from this video is that preparing now is more important than it's ever been before. That should be painfully obvious to you already. Rest assured that absolutely none of your prepping will go to waste. But the key is to take action. And like we've mentioned recently, maximizing your income is critical right now. If you're underemployed, or worse yet, you're now unemployed, you need to follow the advice that I gave this morning to my friend Brian. He texted me saying this: "Hey, brother, hope you're both well. Got a quick question for you. My roommate is in the service industry and he's out of work indefinitely. Do you know if there's anything that he can apply for any type of rent relief?" My response to him was simple. It said, "Hey, Broseph, hope you are well too. We are doing good, just living a life of solitude and lots of work. That sucks for your roommate, man. These are such tough times for many industries. Aside from the $1,200 he will get from the government, he should be spending as much time on YouTube as possible, as I'm sure there are tens of thousands in the same boat looking for answers. If I were him, I would be putting my name out there for absolutely anything right now, landscaping or handyman gigs. Post on Facebook, join other Facebook groups, community groups, etc. I would be offering services on Craigslist, again, handyman help, and so forth. We are trying to spend a lot less now too, but I still have people that are doing helpful tasks for me around the house for $20 or $25 an hour. That would help him a lot right now. I would also call the landlord and see if there is any way to negotiate a rent reduction. I just had a conversation with my tenants today about a rent reduction and helping them out as well. It's all about playing together as a team on that. Make sure you check out our video recently if you are a renter about how to approach your landlord." Now, I went on to say, those are just a few of the ideas that come to mind. he can make it through if he isn't looking at this as time off and he's hustling like his life depends on it. Guys, if you don't have impeccable credit, meaning 760 credit scores or better, now is the time to watch our playlist here on the channel and take the next steps needed to build your credit. Once you have good to great credit, look through our debt weapons playlist so that you can absorb as much information about the many different types of tools that we rely on in order to grow our cash flow and how we use them. Building access to capital, meaning tools like personal and business credit cards, personal and business lines of credit, the infinite banking tool, home equity lines of credit, and equity loans, to name a few. A year ago was the best time to start, but today is the second best. Even with the stimulus, we're seeing banks reducing and even cutting lines. So having a really strong collection of them is important right now. It's always important. The various loans and debt weapons that we use are all very different from each other. Much like, say, a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver, they're going to serve very different purposes, yet sometimes they even have a lot of similarities. My favorite type of debt weapons usually don't cost me much, if anything, unless I'm using them. In other words, guys, I prefer lines of credit to loans since I don't pay interest if I don't need or use the money. I'm going to discuss this in closer detail during the second part of this lesson, but in order to cut the length of the trainings down, which tremendously helps our upload times out here in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to share the second part in our next video. If you're confident in your financial abilities and you want to see me unpack some of the concepts that I follow here to create wealth and how to use these debt weapons, make sure you subscribe and join us there. To be continued.
And the Oscar goes to...